Hello there survivors and welcome back to another video in ARK Survival Ascended. Today I've built this castle using CKF, Castle, Keeps and Forts on Ragnarok in the Highlands to build a beautiful castle. If I say so myself, I am very happy with the way this turned out. Over the past few weeks, months, I have been streaming this project and we finally completed this. So this is the brand new community center on my Ragnarok community server. If you want more info on those, check my Discord. It's linked in the description. And yeah, it came out pretty nice. And it's based on a real life castle. Castle Neuschwanstein in Germany. And I think I came pretty close while sticking to what I needed. I didn't want to go too big or too crazy because it needs to serve as a community center, which means people need to be able to visit it. Also people on console. So I couldn't go too crazy with all of the structures, and therefore, especially on the interior, I've made some decisions to not do the interior yet or limit it as much as possible and not go crazy with decorations, because again, I need people to be able to visit this, and also it serves a very specific purpose. It needs to be like a community center, so you can get food here, you can use the crafting utilities, there's a Dr. Dino here, you can find some gear that the people have left behind, so all those sorts of things. But if you wanted to, you could definitely use this as a pretty decent base, because there's plenty of space inside for you and of course some of your tames as well. But yeah, quite happy with the way this turned out. Try to stay as close to the original castle as possible, whilst also of course using ARK, and CKF is the perfect mod to do that. Besides using CKF, I've also used JV's landscaping for some of the plants and rocks around the place. I used a little bit of the Castle Craft Deco mod, as well as the Castle Craft Structure cosmetic for some of the statues. I also used the Sculptures cosmetic, the Sculptures catalog cosmetic for some statues, the Astraeus cosmetic for some of the utility skins, and even the Amissa skin for teleporter skin. And then the cozy cabin skin for some grass for my planters. And then even the Viking Builders cosmetic for some nice beacons on top of the towers. If you want to build this one for yourself, I built all of this on stream, so you can either watch all those back, although that will take you a while, but I will also be editing those stream down into one video so that it will hopefully be a little bit easier to follow along. Of course, it will kind of depend on the landscape you're building on, because it is rather large, but I made it work on this landscape, which is definitely not the ideal place for it. But yeah, it looks pretty nice in the end. And of course, as always, if you enjoy seeing these builds and you want to see more, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. So now let's jump into this. So here we are on the Highlands. We have a beautiful big castle. As you can see, we've got the main hall, which is what we started with many weeks ago. And then we have some side buildings on the courtyard. Of course, we have the entrance gate, which has a different color, which is based on the real life castle. And then we have the building on this side as well, with a nice place to watch the view of the Highlands here, which is always a nice view. Always a little bit of a dangerous view, but that is totally fine. If you're wondering, it is located right over here on the map. So in the Highlands, pretty epic views all around, and you can definitely feel like this is a pretty cool place for a castle. It's not the most convenient place to build, as I said, like landscape wise it is not the best place, but we made it work, and that's all that matters. I'm really happy with the way this looks now. It feels like a really cool castle, and if you know the real life castle, then you'll definitely see how close it got. I actually will show you a picture that I took myself when I visited this castle. So let's just jump down and feel the scale of it all. You can definitely tell it is a pretty big castle up here. And let's walk into the castle to see what there's all to find. But as I said, the interiors are not like decorated in a way that you would normally do if you want to use the castle as a base, because I use it as the community center and I try to keep the structures to a minimum. So I didn't really do all of the interiors, just the ones we needed. So for example, we enter the castle here. Oh, I see I mispainted that one. There we go, that's better. So here I just put down some hay because this is kind of just a place where people can park some tames if they visit or want to log out safely. There is a way up to the other layers here, but again, to keep structures to a minimum, I haven't really done anything with this, but as you can see, there's a pretty decent amount of space up here. You can even decorate these, and you have access to some of these balconies. So yeah, there's definitely some options here. There's some walkways as well that you can get up to the battlements, but not really anything right now in the sense of purpose. Maybe in the future when I need some more room, maybe for like handing out prizes and stuff like that, we could use these rooms. But for now, it's mostly just going to be stables. But of course, if you would choose to build this castle to use yourself, you already have a decent amount of space in here to use for whatever you see fit. Then when we enter the castle, we have some decorations. We have the nice decor statue from Castle Craft Structures. We got a nice well here from CKF, so we can have something to drink. And we have some of the targets from CKF too, that again you can use and, you know, practice your shooting. We have some of the new JVH plans, which are absolutely amazing. And of course, we've got the staircase up to the castle, and yeah, the courtyard feels are really cool. I think you really feel like you're in the courtyard of a castle. So the staircase leads us all the way up here. This is also where the teleporter is located, so people can get here easily and they can teleport around the map. You can also get a pretty nice view here of the entrance itself. And then there's also some little gardens around the place to just liven it up a little bit. Again, using JV8s, there's a lot of new additions like these lovely blossom trees, and we've got some grown branches here as well, kind of taking over some of these buildings. We have the transmitter with the astral skin, which is really, really cool. So yeah, you can travel out of here. We have the giant tower that currently doesn't serve any purpose yet. I have not added the stairs to the inside, but yeah, you do have a pretty large tower. I might actually add the staircase in just so that you could also park some flyers up there, etc. But yeah, really cool tower. I might actually just move in here. I might just build myself a little cheeky room at the castle, because why not? I built all this. I might as well use it a little bit, right? Might as well move in a little bit and yeah, just kind of hang out at my own castle. I think that could be nice. Maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. And of course, I had to have a nice shark statue here. So this little garden bit has a nice big shark. It also has a cool dragon statue. These statues are from the sculpture catalog mod, which is really cool for all sorts of statues to add to your builds. Then we have the whole building here on the side, which is kind of also a stable area where you could park your tames if you're visiting. It's also where we have the industrial forge from CKF, so it looks really, really cool. And yeah, this way you can smelt some stuff here early on. We also have the kitchens and food here, so if people need to cook things or, you know, get some food, it will all be stored in here, as well as some water if they need a drink. So yeah, it's a nice cozy little kitchen in this area. Then the upstairs are actually not done at all. Like, there's nothing there. There is a staircase up there, but again, I didn't really need the space, so I haven't really done anything there. And there we go. We also have some cool signs here from Castle Craft Deco, which definitely adds some nice life to the place. Then on the opposite side of the courtyard here, we have the adopted Dino building, where people can come and check out the Dino Depot or the cryo fridges here to maybe adopt a little dino that someone else left behind and give it a second chance. We also have hatching stations here for if you want to hatch an egg, and of course the fridge to put the eggs in that are up for donation. So yeah, the people can just come here, adopt a dino, and maybe have a little bit of an easier start if they want to. Yeah, just a nice little building. Of course, if you're using this as a base, you might want to add in another floor or something here. But yeah, I don't really need that. But I do really like the way this building looks. I think it's a quite cool one here at the edge of the courtyard. As I said, I just really like the vibes here of the courtyard in general. Then we have the beautiful logo made by Mr. Wild Times that we're also using for the Jurassic park series or event that we're doing right now, but of course fits perfectly here as well, so I wanted to showcase that here. We've got another cool sculpture here from the sculptures catalog, which is an evil gargoyle standing guard here. We have some smaller buildings here, like this tower that I could definitely add something in if I need it, but right now I don't. And then we have this little building on the side, which definitely could be a nice and cozy room, but at the moment, again, it's not really needed, so I haven't really done any interior there yet. And then, of course, we have the main building. Crafting and gear can be found in there. Looking very, very cool. We got the winding staircase to get up there. And then once we get in here, well, as I said, it's mostly, you know, utility. I didn't want to get the structure count up too much by adding in different floors, adding in pillars, adding in all sorts of decorations, which you definitely want to do if you're using this as a proper base, but to keep the limit low and hopefully make people be able to visit it a little bit more, I didn't do anything. I do need to skin the vaults, I think, because they will fit in a little bit nicer. But yeah, we have a smithy here. We have the utilities from CKF, so the fabricator, grinder, and chem bench are all lined up here. But we also have the normal structures, just in case people get confused. So we have another industrial forge here, but then with the Astraeus skin. We have the fabricator, the chem bench here on the side, as well as a library storage, of course, for all of your books and blueprints. And then we have the tech replicator with the Astraeus skin, which is absolutely gorgeous and definitely forms a nice centerpiece. But yeah, normally, of course, this would be your grand hall. You could do breeding in here for your tames. You could have a different floor up there, of course, with different rooms if you wanted to. But again, trying to keep the structures to a minimal for what I need this castle to be. So I decided not to do anything with the interior yet and see how it performs first before maybe adding a nice interior at some point. But yeah, quite happy with the amount of space though. And then of course there's different towers that you could also get into. I think this one even leads to a place where you could easily park your flyers. This doesn't really lead anywhere, but if we go up a little bit further, we will get to this tower here where you can park flyers. You have a pretty nice view from the surroundings, and then even a little tower up here as well, which I have not done yet. But yeah, there we go. That is the way the castle turned out. I'm super happy with the way it turned out, and also, of course, playing around with the paint. So most of the structures are painted white, so all of the walls, etc., are painted white. Then the roofs are different colors of blue. I think the main roof here is sapphire. Then we have some navy, I think, for those roofs, and then some marine and some other bluish tones for the rest of these. And then we have some Windsor as these orange bricks, which does stand out quite a bit, but it is also there in the real castle. That's why I added it. But yeah, it really adds a nice effect, I think. And again, very happy with the way this turned out, very happy with the way it looks. And if you want to build along, you can either go watch back all the streams that I did on this castle, or wait for me to edit the full bit together, because there was also some small additions that I made after the stream that I forgot to do. So yeah, that should hopefully help you along and hopefully inspire you to build your own castle too. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, of course, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I hope to see you again in the next video or stream. For now, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.